Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Jess with So Many Creations. I am going to do a little casual, kind of laid back sewing today. I have some projects to work on and I thought what better time to do it than now and to hang out with you guys. So I just did a video like this. At the time that you're watching this, I think you may have seen it. I'm not sure. I just released it literally yesterday, like less than 24 hours ago, to the Patreons and the YouTube members. And I think they enjoyed it as much as I did. So I decided, let's just jump right into it and do another one. So instead of my normal tutorials, I'm just going to kind of sew and chat as I go, and you can hang out with me if you want. So if you like videos like this, don't forget to click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give it a thumbs up. And if you would like, we still have, well, we always have Patreon and YouTube memberships. If you're interested in joining either of those, there are links in the info section for you. All right, so what am I working on today? Two things, because Sew Expo in Washington it's around the corner. It's way too close, actually. It's like way too close that I'm getting uncomfortable because I'm not ready. I feel like I'm never fully ready, but I am teaching and I also have a booth and I'm not ready for either of them. So I decided what better use of my time than to make new samples, right? Because what else do you do when you have a show in like 2 weeks? You make samples. But also tomorrow I have a Zoom class. So I am getting ready for that. So I'm just getting my handle prepped. I did all of my cutting. So I need to prep my handle and then I'm pretty much ready to start working on a brand new sample because I don't know. I just felt like I kind of should make something. So I am making my handle for my Arya tomorrow. That is the class that we're doing, which I don't have one nearby. Let me grab one and I can show you in case you're not familiar. So this is tomorrow's class. So this bag has some zippers on the front and it also has a little snap right here. It has credit card pockets and a zippered pocket. And then the original pattern has a snap on the top, but we're not going to do a snap. We're going to do a zippered closure tomorrow. So I have all of these pieces all cut out and I just have to get my handle ready so that we can start with our hardware tomorrow. I have to show you this cork. This is going to be my main cork. I don't even have a name for this cork yet because it's so brand new. It's not even on the website yet. So I don't usually do this. Like I don't usually sew with something that's not available yet, but I was just so excited when it came in. It was so much prettier than I was imagining that I decided I'm going to make a new sample. So I have something to take with me for the show. It's the first show of the year, so that's always exciting. So I will have a new sample, new cork, and yeah, and I get to show the people in class a little preview of something that's coming soon. So depending on when this video goes up and when you're watching it, this should be on the website mid to late February. It'll probably be while we're on the road. And I picked the, what color is it? It's not seafoam. Why did I just draw a blank? What is this green color? Spearmint. I'm guessing I'm going to cut part of that video, part of the video out where I just had to think way too hard. Yeah, spearmint is the color. So that's what I'm doing as my accent. It was not an easy choice. I tried out every purple, blue, orange, green, and yellow that we had, and they all looked good, and I was having a real hard time, but I decided to go with spearmint, and I'm doing a teal zipper, so hopefully my vision comes to life. So I just made a couple of Aryas that were very modified. So this is the first one that I've made as per the pattern in a little while. I've just been kind of making some different modifications, some minor, some major ones. So I'm excited. I'm very excited about this. So what is the name of that cork? I have no idea because it doesn't exist yet. It's on its way here. And so I don't know what to call it. Do you have a name? If you have a name, tell me. It might be too late by the time you're watching this video. I might have already named it, but you know, you never know. Now, did I draw my line wrong? Not if I do it that way. Okay. whenever I do my handle and I have to draw a 45-degree line, I always draw backwards, which I did, but that's okay. I'll just stitch it. I'll stitch it backwards. It'll be fine. So that is what I'm doing for tomorrow. And then I'm going to make a Christy Crossbody out of the Mormino cork, because it occurred to me that this is going to be the first show where we actually have like a decent amount of the Mormino cork, the roses, and I don't have like a big sample. I got to move my chair, which is very staticky. There we go. Everything in here is staticky because it is freezing cold and very dry. And so everything is just Static City. So I'm going to finish up this handle. I'm going to do my sewing and then my top stitching, and then I will be ready for class tomorrow. I think I have everything else ready to go. And then we can work on Christy together. So I'm excited because I'm doing a single color Christy. And I do love the pattern in the 2 colors, and I will show you that one in a minute too, so you know what I'm talking about. I love it in 2 colors, but I also really love it in 1 color. I just think it looks really cool. So I decided to sew this on camera because I wanted to show you something I've been doing lately, which maybe you do it too, I don't know, but it's just something I've been kind of doing in a lot of my handles, my like adjustable handles. I sew my 45-degree line, and then instead of trimming the seam and then just kind of getting ready to top stitch, what I've been doing is, instead of trimming now, I've been opening it up and top stitching on either side of the seam. Like, it's just a minor thing, but I just think it looks really pretty. So when you see that in the bag, you get that little bit of extra top stitching. Maybe nobody notices it but me, but it makes me happy. So I thought I would do that. And I just wanted to show you, because it's easier to show you than to try to explain. So let me turn up my top stitching length. I like to top stitch at like a 5 or a 6. And I definitely was not there. So, and then I don't cut my threads. I just kind of back up into the next seam, just so that I don't have as many loose threads to worry about. I think I'm doing something right. I don't know. I guess years from now we'll find out. So there is my top stitching, and like, I don't know, there's just something, I just think it looks kind of cool. And now I can go in and I will just trim. Obviously I cut my handle off a little bit. I was not quite on the mark, but I'll do a little trimming here. And then I just go back here and I just trim maybe 1/4 of an inch. I'm not really that careful because now it's tacked down, like it's not gonna go anywhere. So by doing that, just adds a little something. I don't know. It makes me happy. And I have decided that for this year, I'm going to do more things that make me happy because I want to. I want to be happy. I don't want to be in a bad mood. I don't want to be unhappy. Nobody does. So if something small like that makes me smile, why not? Burn my threads. All right. And now, this probably won't make some of you happy, but I'm not going to properly fold this into the center. I'm just going to fold it in half and top stitch it. And yes, I know that means I'm going to have a rough edge here. I totally get it, but I'm just not feeling like I really want to fold it into the center right now. I know it would look better in the end. Oh, Jess, how lazy are you today? Could you? No, I don't want to. I really don't want to. So I'm just going to fold it in half. I'm going to add a few clips and top stitch. So I will fast forward through this so you don't have to watch endless minutes of me top stitching. And I'll be back with a finished top stitch handle. All right, so that is done. I'm just gonna leave my selvages, not my threads because they drive me crazy, but I'm just gonna leave the selvages here because I don't need to address this until tomorrow when I'm in class. So I'm just going to wrap this up and be done with it. So I feel like I feel good. I'm a step ahead. It's not, what time is it? Let's see. It's only 5 o'clock and I have my prep work done for my morning class. So that makes me feel good. So Arya is done. Put that aside. Arya, you get to go. You're all done. Let's get a Christy so we can talk about the minor change that I'm going to make. All right, so for my Christy, I want to do all the watercolor roses, the Mormino cork. So I'm going to do the entire thing out of the same cork. I'm finally get to use the Project Box zipper. This was the zipper that was in the Project Box that Lauren and Nicole and I did last August. And I realized as we're getting ready to go to Washington, and Lauren and I are going to actually be right next to each other. We have like not shared booth space, but we're neighbors. I was thinking to myself, I'm going to have her cork and she's going to be there. And I don't have like a big sample of hers to show off. And all of the things that were in the Project Box were coordinated to go together, but I never had them all at the same time. So I never got to use all of them. Now I still don't. Technically, I have the vinyls, which I'm not using, but I don't have the waterproof canvas or the water resistant canvas. So I'm going with a different one. So it's the closest to the Project Box project colors that I've done. Does that make any sense? Probably not. So I have the zipper here. I don't know the name of the zipper, but I think that she sells this. And if you're going to do Mormino cork with her zipper, you need her roses for the zipper pulls. So I have those, and we did gunmetal in the box, which I have not done with this cork yet. I've done silver and I think I've done rainbow, but I love she calls it black nickel, I call it gunmetal, same difference. But I thought if I'm going to do rose cork, I have to have a rose zipper pull. So that's going to be here and then also on the top. And then for the handle, I'm actually not going to make a handle because I am on my webbing journey. I am on this obsession with webbing. And I bought this when I was there. And I don't even remember. I think I bought this in like August or September. This is the debossed roses in pastel green. And I bought it because I thought it was beautiful. And then I never used it. And now I think is the perfect time to use it because, again, roses. And I think it looks great with the cork. It pulls out some of the cool tones in the cork. And it just gives me an excuse to play with more webbing to do something different. I'm not going to do the cork pieces like I've been doing in some other videos. I'm just going to attach it to the tabs with rivets. I might put like a little bit of cork on the end. I'm not sure. But I don't know what I want to do for hardware because the original pattern I used the double D rings, which I could do. Absolutely. But instead, I think I want to do something different. I have a ton of 1.5" hardware that I need to get back on the website. And so maybe this will really push me to do that. We have so many D-rings, so I could make this simple and just do D-rings. But this has been my new obsession, webbing and O-rings. So I don't know. Do I want O-rings or D-rings? I don't know which one I want to do. I feel like I want to do the O-rings, but also I have so many of these. So I'm going to think about that. I don't need to make that decision right now. But this will be a removable, adjustable handle. And when it's handle time, I'm going to use my little soldering iron that I bought. And I'm going to make my holes for my rivet with the little soldering iron because it's just super cool. And I tested it on YouTube a few weeks ago and then I haven't used it again. And I told myself, stop buying tools and not using them. So it's time. You need to use this. So I will be playing with those in a bit. But for now, first thing we're going to do, and I'm just kind of flying here by the seat of my pants because my pattern is not in front of me. And I think I know how to put this together. I'm not saying that sarcastically either. I don't retain a lot of information. So I think we're going to do the outside front first. So instead of doing the two colors, I'm going to do the same color and top stitch it and then add my zipper and then trim. I have to check the pattern. I don't remember. I just wrote the pattern like a few months ago, but I just don't remember. It's terrible. So I need to change my thread because this is for class tomorrow. So, Caribbean Mint, you are dismissed. How beautiful is this thread? I just love it. I love Wizardry thread. I've been using a lot of it. And this is Tex 35. This is Tex 35. So I use Tex 35 to Tex 45 typically. I sew on a Janome HD9, which I can for sure go up. I can definitely increase. This machine is a heavy duty or a semi-industrial, so it's not like I can't go bigger. I don't know, I just kind of don't. I like it. I like that weight. So I have hardly any bobbin left. So I know that's not going to last me too long, so I'm going to wind another bobbin because I'd rather just have it. Oh, and you know what? This poor bobbin. This bobbin fell apart and there's hardly anything left, so I'm just going to take the thread off. So no sense in letting it sit here and just make a big bird's nest. It wasn't a lot of thread, but still. It's not doing it. So today I'm going to use the Serene Sky. This is also Tex 35, and this was in the project box. So this was coordinated just for this cork and the vinyl that was in there. So it kind of feels illegal to not sew with it. Like, how can I sew with this cork and not use the coordinated thread? That just doesn't make any sense. So I'll wind a bobbin. I just cleaned my machine, so it's running very nicely. It sounds so quiet. I oiled, I cleaned, I changed my needle. So if you haven't done that, you should. My hands are like not working today. There, jeez. Okay, bobbin. That was just too much. My hands just said, no, thank you. We don't want to work. So, all right, now I am not going to use this one. So this is a little trick that I learned from my friend Kathy, and Lauren also did it on her channel. When you have these like heavy threads, because they just want to unwind, just pull your thread like that and just kind of like pull it into the other threads, and it tucks it in there, and then it's good to go. And then you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to stick it right here, so when I can't find it, it's on the other spool post. So if I am frantically looking for it later, I can rewind and I can remind myself where I put it. All right, now let's get this machine threaded and get to sewing. Oops. If I can just do anything right today. What are you doing, Jessica? There we go. Okay. So raise your hand if you talk to yourself while you're sewing. I do. Also, what do you call yourself? Because I very sternly call myself by my full legal name, even though the rest of the world doesn't. I do, because I get agitated with myself. I think it's my mom coming out of my mouth, calling me very sternly Jessica. So, do you call yourself by your government name, or do you have another name? All right, so it doesn't really matter, but I have A's and E's, but really it doesn't make a difference because they're all the same. So I'm just gonna sew them together. I'm just gonna try to not get them like identical next to each other. I wanna make sure that there's some movement in the cork. And this does not have a top and a bottom as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not going to think about that. I'm just going to, use a clip. Okay. This is going to be one of those times when I regret filming because I'm just going to film every stupid thing that I do. I am trying. I'm really not trying to be a disaster today, but I guess it's just what's in the cards for me. Let's try that again. Let's see if we can keep our cork together. There we go. And bump that down to 4.5. We don't need a seam at 6. We do need to get rid of these threads. There we go. All right. That is just such a pretty color. I mean, it's a variegated and it's just right. Like somebody said to me not that long ago, didn't you used to hate variegated thread? And I was like, yes, I did. I absolutely despised variegated thread because I don't like chunky. I don't like when the thread is like 3 inches of black and then like 4 inches of gray. Like I want it to flow nicely, and Wizardry does the best job of variegated, better than anyone else I've ever seen. And if you want to disagree with me, that's fine. You're wrong, but it's fine. Now, either I cut this wrong or my sewing is just horrendous today. Jeez Louise. I don't know. I'm not overthinking it. I'm going to do some trimming, but I must have cut something wrong. I don't know. Because both of these are off. My sewing can't be that off. Let's see. Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, good. My trimming is off, but it's in my favor, so it's totally fine. Okay, now let's switch to 1/8 inch foot. I have one of those, what do you call them? The quick change foot, the thing with the spring. There's a name for it. It has a spring and you can like quick change your feet. And I was using it for a while and I liked it, but then I don't know, it just was irritating my fingers. I felt like the spring was so tight that it just was like kind of uncomfortable sometimes. And so I stopped using it and I just went back to using a screwdriver, and I'm actually happier. Like, I think I timed it. I think I did a TikTok when I first got it and I timed it to see like how many seconds does it save me. And it didn't really save me a lot of seconds. My thread is not even in the loop. Oh my goodness. Oh, is it time to just turn off the iPad and just go to bed? Let's see. What does my stitching look like? Well, it's in there. I don't know, you guys. Hot mess express over here. Okay. Well, I am just going to pretend that I'm not messing every single aspect of this up. Oh, my stitching looks great. My bobbin's good, so I'm not going to worry about it, but I don't know what is going on. It's like nothing wants to be where it's supposed to be. So look how pretty that looks. I love it. I love it so far. This thread is phenomenal. I like the way it matches. I've always known that it matched, but I haven't gotten to use it on this cork yet because I haven't. So the story is I had the cork, and if any of you were following last year and you bought one of the project boxes, the cork was my contribution along with my Linda pattern. And I ended up, the cork was delayed. Like my manufacturer, he's a great guy, but I don't know what was going on in Portugal. It was supposed to be delivered in April, then in May, then in June, and then all of a sudden it was July, and I was starting to have a solid panic attack because I was like, I gave you a lot of money. You owe me a lot of cork. Where is it? I don't understand why I haven't gotten it. I don't want to jeopardize this project box or my friendship with Lauren, who trusted me with this, who asked me to collaborate with her on something. I don't want this to go poorly from, our first collab. We finally got the cork. Eric and I rushed to get to Illinois to bring it there. We were packing up boxes. Like I was helping Lauren pack boxes and roll cork, and it was just super chaotic. And then in the meantime, there were some extras that I got to take home with me. So I got the ruler, which is around here somewhere, and I got a spool of thread and I already had the cork, obviously, and I got some of the vinyl and the zipper tape. But at that point, I had already made my project for the class that we were doing. So, trying to stay hydrated. So at that point, it was kind of too late, and I never got to use any of the supplies because my bag was already done. I think Lauren was the only one that got everything like ahead of time, which obviously, because she's the one that was ordering it. So I never got to play around with any of this stuff until literally now. So, but that's okay. It's all right. Better late than never. So, okay. I have to go get my pattern because I have no idea what the placement is for my zipper. So I will be back in a minute. So the pattern says, okay. All right. I got it. I got this. Well, first of all, I'm going to trim. Grab my pretty ruler here. I'm going to trim this weird little error. Gotta get rid of that. Okay, so let me mark this so that I can get my zipper overlay where it needs to go. There we go. All right. I cannot remember anything. It's terrible. Tape. Here we go. So let's go ahead and put our tape down. So I am just in here in my studio in complete silence. The only thing going in here that makes noise besides my machine is me. I don't have the TV on or music for obvious reasons, but normally I cannot sew like that. Like I can't exist in complete silence. It doesn't work for me. Like I need noise of some kind. I always have the TV on, music, a podcast, something. I just don't do well when it's completely silent. It just makes me kind of crazy. So if I'm doing a tutorial, I'm talking to myself, it's awkward sometimes, but you get used to it. But what is your take on that? Do you sew in silence? Because if you do, I need to know. I have questions for you. I want to know how. How do you just sew in complete and utter silence? Doesn't it distract you, or is it just me? Because I feel super off and distracted when it's just like quiet. Like I feel like I need some kind of interaction. So usually I have a podcast on or I have a TV, and my comfort TV and movies, if you know me, this will not surprise you at all, but if you are new here, I'm about to be a weirdo. I love true crime, so that is what I listen to if I'm on a podcast, or listening to. I'm not on a podcast. If I'm listening to a podcast. If I'm watching TV, though, I like watching scary movies. I have always liked scary movies. My grandmother and my mother I kind of grew up on that. My grandmother loved watching like Perry Mason and Murder, She Wrote and all that. But if there was a scary movie, and I'm talking we're talking 80s and 90s. I'm talking like Lifetime scary movie, because, we didn't watch a lot of, we didn't go to the movies a lot. I don't even think we ever went to the movies. But if there was like a Lifetime, like creepy, stalkery kind of movie on, my grandmother was all over it. And so, of course, when you grow up around that, you're just kind of immune to it. Like, it's just normal to me. And it's oddly comforting. I don't know what that says about me as a person. I really don't know if I want to pull at that thread, but I just love all that spooky-ooky kind of stuff. But I don't watch documentaries, like true crime documentaries, by myself, mostly because I'm scared. I mean, I'm scared of a lot of things. I am still scared of the dark. I am a grown adult, terrified. But I feel like it's more fun to watch documentaries with someone else, especially somebody that like is really getting into it, so that like you can talk about theories and stuff, and like what do you think happened? Do you think he did it? Like, you know. So that's kind of my thing. So if I watch a documentary alone, I don't have anyone to talk to about it. So I kind of save those, and I watch them with Eric, who is not nearly as into that kind of stuff as I am, but he's getting more into it. He's more into documentaries. He's not a podcast guy. We do sometimes in the car, he'll indulge and let me listen to podcasts like if we're on a road trip, but I can tell it's not his thing. He's not really listening and paying attention. But, you know, sometimes he'll be like, go ahead, you know, put on a podcast. But I don't know. That's my alone time stuff. And other than that, if I'm not watching like a creepy horror movie or listening to a creepy podcast, I'm watching Friends all the time. Like I can quote almost every single episode of Friends. It's kind of, it's a lot. I'll be honest. It's a whole lot. Like I don't know. I have a weird memory when it comes to like movies and TV shows and song lyrics. I have a terrible memory for most other things. Like I'll remember your face, but I won't remember your name. I will not remember that I was supposed to do something. I won't remember like where I was supposed to. I don't remember why I got up and went in the kitchen. But I can recite almost every episode of Friends, 10 seasons worth. I have so many of them memorized. It's kind of annoying if I'm being upfront about it. I don't know. It's just who I am. I'm a weird person. But I'm all right with it. So, and if you're hanging out with me right now, I'm going to have to say you must be all right with it too. Maybe not. You might have just stumbled upon this video and you're saying to yourself, wow, she is way too much. And that's fair. So let's get this zipper pull on. All right. All right. Zipper pull is, well, it's not good. Let's do it again. I'm very, very particular about my zipper pulls. I like my zippers to look nice. I mean, I think we all do. I will encourage you always when we're in a class setting to, you know, learn to go with the flow and, you know, be more relaxed. But me, don't really know how to do that. Not really good at relaxing, but I try. You know, there was a moment that I actually thought to myself, why did she pick this pinky purple zipper when there's so much blue and like green and dark purple in the cork? What an odd choice. And then I look at it now and it's like, yeah, that was meant to be. Like that zipper looks so good. Maybe don't undo it before you get to the machine. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I take back all of my thoughts that it's such a good color. It's like, it pulls out just like the most random bit of pinky purple that's in the cork. And it's just so good. This foot's not going to work. All right, let's switch this up because that's not going to do. I cannot use my compensating foot for zippers, not for the inside because it makes me crazy. So I'm just going to use my cording foot because that just makes more sense. All right. Oh yeah, way better. All right, did I get too close? Okay, got a little bit close. Almost fell off the edge, but I'm all right. All right. The only thing thing I don't like about the cording foot is that I am used to the compensating foot, which has an edge on it. I need that support and guidance. It just makes things better. All right. One little tiny stitch. There we go. Sometimes you just gotta drop your stitch length down. Oh, look at that. Oh, that looks so good. Look at how pretty that is. Oh, I love it already. I really, listen, Lauren, if you're watching this, fast forward for like 30 seconds. I don't want you to hear any of this. I really, truly questioned why we were picking gunmetal and this zipper color. And I thought, I don't know. I feel like there were different and better choices. And now I take it all back. Like I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lauren, truly, I love you. I'm so sorry that I doubted you. I shouldn't doubt you. I've seen what you can do. I know what you can do and you're good at it. Why I doubted you, I don't know. But I thought, why are we doing silver? Or why aren't we doing, you know, a blue zipper or like a creamy white or something? It's because Lauren knows everything. So, all right, you can listen again now. All right, that looks really pretty. So now I need to finish up my pocket, and I'm just going to use Essex linen because that's just what I felt like using. I had a little tiny bit of purple left, so that's going to be my pocket backing. Even though I have a heavy duty machine, I still like to save in some areas on the bulk. It just makes me feel better because I could put like something heavier back here. I'm using waterproof canvas for my lining. Where's my clip? There it is. Come here. So I could definitely use that, and I know that it would be okay, but it just makes me feel so much better just to reduce the thickness just a little bit, because I just don't like to push my machine to the point that it's angry. And it's probably all the years of sewing on like an actual domestic machine, which I don't really do anymore. My domestic needs to be serviced. So that's problem number one. And problem number two is that once you start using a mechanical machine and you see how awesome your stitches are and how straight they are, and you get used to not having bells and whistles, it's like you kind of don't want to go back. And all the things that the domestic can do, like all the extra cool features, I don't feel like I need them. Like they don't really do anything for me. The one thing I'll say that was a great feature, I do love the auto lift on the foot. So like you stop sewing and your foot just goes and it lifts up for you. I don't have my knee lift on because I'm sitting at a high table and it's awkward as it is, so I just don't want to put the knee lift on. But I don't know. I don't miss my domestic at all. Sorry. All right, so let's trim. The one downfall of Essex linen is that it frays like crazy, like insane, but it'll all be fine once it's in the bag. It's just right now, it is a mess. So, but that's okay. So I just basted this onto the back. So I have my pocket. There we go. All right, clean up your mess. So, front is done. I think I'm gonna do I want to do back next or do I trim? I'm gonna read my own pattern. Okay, I'm gonna put on the bottoms and top stitch, and then we're gonna do some trimming. So, the outside of this bag goes together really, really quickly. Like, considering the fact that it looks more complex, especially like if you're a little bit newer to bag making. This bag, you might be thinking, oh man, like that looks intimidating. There's a lot going on. There actually isn't. It's a pretty simple bag. And I am going to be teaching this bag a few times this year at the OSQE shows. So I will be going to Cleveland, Raleigh, Dallas, Fredericksburg, Cincinnati, and Novi. So that's 6 shows with them that I'm going to be teaching this bag. And I think it's going to be a great class bag because it's so disappointing sometimes to do bag classes because I don't want to just do little things all the time. Like, I want to do big stuff, but big bags and purses in general, those are not 3-hour classes. Those are not even sometimes 4-hour classes. Those are like intense all day, you know, we got to spend the whole afternoon together kind of classes. And a lot of people don't want to sign up for that. And I understand. Like, I don't want to go to a show and know that my entire, like, one of my days at that show, all I'm going to be doing is sitting in a classroom. Like, I totally get that. You want to hang out with your friends and take different classes and shop and do all the fun stuff. Visit that city. So I totally get it. And I love doing an all-day class. I would be happy to do an all-day class, but I also understand it's not appealing to everybody. They do have something that they call, I think it's like more before the show or something like that, where they do like an all-day Wednesday class. And hopefully once I kind of get myself established with them, I could do one of those too. Like, maybe I could do a before the show kind of class, and then we could do an all day because they limit them. There's not a lot. And I think that would be kind of fun. But, you know, I also still have to set up my booth. Whenever I go to these shows, I'm still setting up booth space, and I can't expect my husband or my mom or whoever's with me to do all that alone. That's something that, you know, I'm particular about it. I deserve to be. I want things where I want them. And I just can't leave that in someone else's hands. It just feels, I don't know, feels weird to just be like, all right, set up my booth for my business. See you later. So I don't know. So I just need to make sure I have time for everything. And there's never going to be time for everything. You know how they always say you can't please everybody? That is always true. And you also will never have time for everything. There's always going to be something that has to sacrifice. And if I can't do an all-day class because I need to set up my booth, so be it. That is totally fine. Because I love vending. I like vending because I get to control what I bring, and I get to have conversations and be in my booth and, you know, meet people that follow me on YouTube, or they come up, and I love when you guys come up and you're like, you taught me how to put in a zipper, and I'm like, that's amazing, you know. Or they walk up and you guys do this really cool thing where you kind of just like, you don't say anything, but you walk up and kind of like push your body with your bag towards me, like, look, you know, or you just kind of like point to it, and I'm like, that's this pattern, that's this pattern. And it's the sweetest thing, because, you know, I don't do all this for nothing. I'm running a business. So it's nice when you feel appreciated, and when somebody is like, I love your pattern so much, look what I made. And then they're in the booth because they're like, I wanted to come buy more cork. And they always say, they being you. Like, it's so much nicer to see the cork in person. I love seeing all the colors, and, oh, I have never seen this one before. Oh, this one's so cool. So it's a really awesome feeling. And that's why I really love vending, because it's like freedom. I have set hours for the show, but I'm also free to have whatever conversations that I want to have. You know, I get to just hang out and meet fun people and have a good time. And like, who doesn't want to do that? I want to do that all the time. So, all right, let's cut this scoop. I printed myself a legit template. If you watched the New Year's Eve sew along, my template had Sharpie on it because I didn't have a chance to make a real one. So now I have a real Christy with the rating, the engraving on it. And I also have a really crooked top edge that I didn't trim. There we go. So it's nice to spoil yourself sometimes, even when you are the person that makes the templates. Because I try to keep one of every template, but that never happens. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not easy to keep up with. So, all right. Outside is done. I'm just going to reinforce these stitches because I don't want anything to happen to them. So let's just reinforce a little bit here. Make sure we're not going to lose anything. And now I think, do I want to work on my handle? Or do I want to just put the outside together? I feel like I kind of just want to put the outside together. And then I'll make some tabs and work on my handle. So I'm going to grab a couple things. Why is it so hard just to keep things nearby that I just had in my hand? I don't know. I lose everything. All right. I'm going to trim my corners. And then I'm going to put my outside together because I just think it's going to be kind of fun to see how it looks. And then we'll work on the handle. And then I have to decide, I don't know why that's wavy. It'll be fine. I have to decide if I actually want to put a pocket inside or not. I'm feeling the winter laziness, and I just don't know if I really care enough to put a pocket inside this bag. Is that terrible? What is the thing that makes you like, ugh, when it comes to bag making? Because there's always something, you know, there's no hobby is perfect. You can't love every part of it. If you do, that's awesome. I'm not judging. Like, I think it's fantastic. If you're like, I love every part of bag making, I think it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. That's great. For me, I love making handles, first of all. And I'm very perplexed by people that don't like making handles. I have heard in like bag groups, and people are like, ugh, I have to make a handle. I waited until the last minute. And I was like, but why? Like, I love making handles. Making handles, it feels like progress. Like, it feels satisfying. You get a handle done and it's a thing that looks like something. Like, it's a tangible part of the bag. Like, sometimes you sew like one little thing and it still doesn't look like a bag. But I don't know. I love making handles. I love putting the outside together. I don't even care what the outside entails. I don't care if it has tedious hardware, a zipper, tons of pockets. Like, I don't care. The outside of the bag is the best part. And of course, I love finishing. I love when it's time to like put the outside and the lining together. It's almost done. It's going to be like a usable bag soon. But I don't like making pockets. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because I don't like the fabric as much as the cork. I don't know. And it's not just limited to certain kinds of pockets. I don't really like making pockets in general. I love using them. I love having them. So those are two different things. I don't have a hatred of pockets. I just don't want to put them in. And I don't know what my problem is. Like, I don't know why I'm like, oh, pockets. Because I want them and I want to use them. Like, what's wrong with me? Does anybody know? Please chime in if you are a psychiatrist. I need to know. I need to know why I don't like making pockets. And also why, Jessica, my cork is slippery because it's pearl. Why do I keep taking the clips out? Ugh. before I'm ready to sew, and then things are shifting. That's just bad business. Like, what are you doing? And what are you doing? Why'd you do that again? Okay. Well, now I'm just getting annoyed. All right. Start again. Third time. My stitch length is where it's supposed to be. My needle is down. Can we not shift? Thank you. Good gravy. Some days. This was not my day. This is a disaster of a video. If you're still watching, I truly appreciate it because I don't want to be here now. I wouldn't watch this myself because I'm getting frustrated right now. It's like, why are some days just not right? Like, I feel like I'm fumbling through literally everything I've done today. And I'm trying to think, did this start earlier in the day? Have I been like this all day, or is this just a new thing for the evening? Was I having problems? Yesterday, I spilled coffee grounds all over the place. Like all over me, all over the kitchen floor. And they were so all over the front of my sweatshirt that it stained my sweatshirt. I mean, it came out, but still, I was like, now I have a brown stain down the front of my sweatshirt. So that looks like dirt. It looked like I was just outside, like gardening or something. And then I got it all over the kitchen floor, down the stairs. It was in my sneaker because I was carrying my sneakers downstairs, and I spilled the coffee grounds in the sneakers. So yeah, yesterday was a clumsy day. I thought, oh, I ran out of bobbin. I thought today I was doing better. I'm not so sure about that now. What did I do earlier today? That is the question. I shipped orders. I ran the lasers. Yeah, this is an evening problem because everything this morning was fine. Yesterday I was extra clumsy. Today I was doing good until I sat down at this machine. I was even doing good when I was cutting stuff out. Like, everything was fine. I just don't know. Okay. Fresh bobbin. Let's do this. It'll get better. It's not like I don't know how to make a bag. It just appears that I don't know how to make a bag. Let's box some corners. We can handle that. I think. Trim my threads. Loose threads everywhere make me crazy. I cannot stand when there are random threads like this. Like, I know it's going to be inside the bag. I can't stand it. It absolutely drives me insane. All right. Well, everything looks good so far. So let's turn this. Excuse me. cork is so pretty. It's so soft too. When we were deciding on getting this printed, I immediately was like, obviously it needs to be on white, because what else would it be on? And Eric is actually the one that said, why don't you test it out on the pearl white? And I was like, yeah, maybe. And I hate when he's right, but he's right. I mean, I do have a piece of the white. I have one piece left over that was just part of like the trial run, and it is pretty. I'm not going to say it's not, but it's pretty. And this is like, whoa, like it's a day and night difference. The way that it picks up the little, like the light, the way that it kind of reflects and it gets the different colors. The white background was very, it was very, I mean, matte, obviously, but it was just kind of flat, I want to say, where this feels like it has so much going. Like it just has like a ton of interest to it. And like, now I just can't stop staring. This is so pretty. Okay. So this is going to be my handle. But before I do that, I have to make my tabs, because I'm going to make tabs for the side. I cut them. Where did I put them? Well, that's not right. Okay, I'm not crazy. I did cut them. I didn't bring them over. I even labeled them. See, they're G. I had them done, and then I left them over there on the cutting mat for whatever reason. Don't really know why. So I am going to do what I didn't do with the first handle that I made for the Arya, and I am going to mark these and sew them into the center. I just feel like it's just going to look better. What do I need? I need this, and I need to make a line in the middle. I just think I'm going to like it in the end a little bit better, just to have those nice clean edges that will be sticking out, and then the side with the raw edges will be wrapped around my hardware. So I just feel like that's going to elevate. Elevate is my new word, thanks to Anne, who said it during YouTube when I could not think of the word. I was just like, brain fart. What is the word? I want to make my bags something. I want to make them look some sort of way, something nicer. And she said, elevate. And I was like, that's the word. That is what I want. So I don't really need to tape these edges. I definitely could just fold them and clip them, but I am going to set myself up for success since we've already seen how the last hour has gone. Okay. Fold my edges in. When I first started making bags with cork, well, first of all, I was not making all cork bags. Cork was an accent. I only carried solids. I did not carry any prints at all. I was very much in my Tula Pink phase. I mean, I still love her fabrics. I just don't sell them or collect them the way that I did, but I definitely was in a Tula Pink obsessed phase, and business-wise, it was great because I sold a lot of them at shows. Back when I was selling Tula Pink fabric, it was when everybody on the internet was not selling it. There were definitely places you could find it, but it wasn't everywhere. And before 2020, when I was doing a ton of shows, if I brought Tula Pink fabric, especially if she had like a new collection that just came out, we were selling it. It was crazy. People would come in and buy so much of that fabric into a booth. And I would have it. I don't even know if I ever put it on the website in the beginning, because I don't think I ever had any left. And then when things kind of shut down and I stopped doing shows, I decided to just keep going because why wouldn't I? I loved Tulip Pink fabric. It was a great excuse to get a collection because I was getting it for me, but I was also selling it. And in doing that, and going just to the website and having it there, nobody bought it. There were so many people by that time that were selling it online that they weren't coming to me for that. They were coming to me for cork. So I kind of stopped selling Tulip Pink because it just didn't make sense to my business anymore. And at the same time, I was also expanding my cork collection to include a lot of prints. And then without trying, we kind of became known as like not only the place to get cork, but the place that had cork prints. And it was just not something that I was intending on because I was like, no, I will never ever have anything but solids. Who would want an all cork bag? Really, I thought that. I really had that conversation. I was like, nobody wants to make a bag out of all cork. We have such pretty fabric. Why would anybody want all cork? Yeah, and look at me now. So whenever I think something, I end up changing my mind, which is also why I sell some webbing now. Yeah, I'm selling webbing, even though I decided webbing was not for me. It was not for my business because everybody else has webbing, and now I sell some. So you got to learn to go with the flow if you want to be in business, and just got to stay with the times, you know? I'm making videos on YouTube. I am literally talking to myself right now because this video is not edited. It's not anywhere except on my iPad. So I'm having a conversation with myself, doing something that I never intended or imagined I would do. And I had to change because times changed. And now I thoroughly enjoy it. I love being on YouTube. All right, now I have to decide on my hardware. And when I just realized, because I'm winning today, I grabbed 1.5" hardware because the webbing is 1.5". But guess what size my tabs are? They are inch. So if I decide on D-rings, I have to go get inch D-rings. Or are these going to look terrible? Because these are 1.5". Is this a bad decision? Does that look awful? They're big rings, but this is going to be attached on here. Do I like it? I think I like it. Okay, let me think. I have to finish this top stitching on the edges. That's the second time that I said I was done and I wasn't done. Okay. Tabs. Decisions. I can go back to the original double D-ring hardware. Is that a better choice? I need to think. All right, so option 1, because I don't think I want to use regular D-rings. Option 1 is gigantic O-ring. Option 2 is double D-ring. Why does that look so much better? Okay, I can't. I'm sorry. You lost the battle. So I need rivets, which I have to go get too. I just had them. Yeah, it has to be. Like, there's no question. It has to be the double D-rings. Any other choice is wrong. I just feel like with the size and everything, they just make the most sense. So final decision, that's what I'm doing. Let's get my hole punch. All right. I'm gonna try to get as close as I can. I should probably start doing these like casual, laid back videos live instead of recording them, because then you guys can also help me make decisions, because sometimes I need help. Sometimes I need help with my rivet caps. Just get on there. I just use my scissors. I just find it so much easier. Done. So much easier on my thumbs. Especially if you're putting in a lot of rivets. Like, I just don't want my fingers to be sore. So I just kind of push it so it's started. And then I just take my scissor handle. Whoops. See? Then when you try to tell people what you're doing, it comes off. There we go. Come on. There. If I don't tell you, it works. Okay. Let's set it. Okay. Well, I definitely overset that one. Got a little smushy, but that's okay. All right. This does not need to go too far because I'm going to need it for my handle. Okie dokie. So let's put these in the bag, because our handle is going to be made totally separate since it's removable. And then we'll start working on the handle. So a smushy part towards the inside because I overset my rivet. Whoopsie. Just use a clip. You're gonna regret not using a clip. Just use a clip. That was 100% the right choice. Could not be happier with that. Okay. So there is my bag. I can do the lining or I can work on the handle. I think I'm just going to do the lining really quickly off camera because I'm not going to do anything special. So let's make the handle and then I'll come back and we'll put it all together. So for the handle, I'm going to measure out. Oh, you know what? Let me plug in my soldering iron because I'm excited to use that. Okay. This is just the cutest little thing. This was a recommendation by a customer, and I do know that a lot of other people are also using it, but my friend and customer, Antoinette, said, I got this little soldering iron to do my holes, and it was a game changer because when you're working with nylon webbing and you have to put holes in it, you have to be really careful because you don't want it to rip. And so I thought, what a cool idea. I need to do that. So I'm doing that as well. Let me think here. Because I want to make this adjustable, but I'm not doing cork ends, so I don't need a rectangle ring. All right, let me cut this down to length. I'm gonna do 54 inches. That seems to be a nice one for me. So 36, that's 46, that's 56, so that would be 54 right here. Scissors. Scissors are somewhere. There they are. Okay. Scissors. Now, let's do this. It's getting warm. Okay. Now, my only question is there anything special that I want to do to this that I need to think about right now? So I'm going to put my slide on. That. I think that's pretty simple. I'm going to fold. I'm going to do my edge under and then bring it over here. So that's pretty standard. I don't think I'm going to do anything special there. Add a clip. All right. Oops, there we go. And I'm going to mark. I'm going to clip this out of the way. I'm going to mark where I want to put my hole. Because once I go to town with this little soldering iron, there's no turning back. So, do I want 2? I think I might want 2 rivets. So, there we go. And there we go. All right, how's that look? Looks good, except why? Okay, so I'm gonna do something before I do that, because this is gonna bother me. I am going to cut my ends at like a 45-degree angle. There we go. Just because I kind of just want to make sure that they really tuck in. So later, I could do that with the soldering iron too, I suppose, but I'll just use my lighter. Okay, I feel like that's already better. So now fold that down. Now bring this down. That feels tremendously better. Okay. Now, I just have to, there we go. I'm gonna clip this thing. The slide is just moving everywhere and getting in my way. So, how does that look? Looks pretty good. Where's my piece of wood? I didn't get it. So, and I don't have anything else, so I need a piece of wood. Okay, well, I tested this out on YouTube, but this is like my first official legitimate putting like a handle together. So, let's hope for the best. Let's hope that it works the way I want it to. All right, I'm going for it. Okay. And I'll try to just make this even. Did I go all the way through? Is the next question. Ooh, I did. Okay, rivets. Oops. Did I make the hole big enough? Is the next question. No, I did not. Okay, well, now that I have the hole started, I think I'm gonna go from this side. There, oh yeah, that was much better. Okay, don't burn your finger. There we go. Okay, and don't burn the cord and start an electrical fire. Much better. Okay. That feels so tight, like not in a bad way. Like it feels so secure because it's like melted right in there. And I don't know, I didn't measure, but I think it looks pretty good. I think they look pretty even. So, right. I've got 2 extra rivets for the next part. Let's do these. go. Let's get those set. Let's not overset them. Just be gentle. There we go. There we go. Okay. So that's done. That looks pretty cool. I'm happy. Okay, so now let's put a swivel hook on and then come back up and over. And now is the big question. Do I want to do anything fancy down here for my other swivel, or do I just want to leave it alone? I think I'm just gonna leave it alone. I think just because I did the other end kind of simple, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. So first things first, I'm going to snip a little off, try to make them even, which is easier said than done. That is way off. Let's do that. It's much easier to see it on the back. All right. Do I just keep chopping more and more off and making it more and more uneven? Yes, I do. Okay, lighter. All right, there we go. Let's grab the swivel hook, fold it. Really crease it. And then bring it down. All right, one little thread. How does that look? That looks pretty good. All right, I just want to clean that edge. There we go. All right, 2 more holes. I'm not gonna clip it this time because the clip was kind of in my way. So we're just gonna go for it and hope that it works. And it's even. Looks pretty good. And now let's see. Not even close to going through. So I think that's kind of the trick, is going from back to front and then front to back. Seems to work. Oh, my holes are so uneven. Oh no. Oh, that looks awful. That's terrible. How did that happen? It looks so good back here. No, it doesn't. Okay, I'm just gonna pretend that didn't happen. I'm gonna take some inches off. That looks terrible. I can't leave that. Like, even I have standards. They're low, but I can't do that. All right, let's trim again. Not as much. Don't be hasty here. All right. That was a challenge. All right, but it's done. Okay, that is so pretty. Beautiful. All right, it looks really short right now, but it is long, I promise. It's just folded. All right, so I am going to unplug my soldering iron before I burn myself, and then I'm gonna clean up my mess and just work on my lining. I think I'm just gonna throw in just some kind of a pocket. I don't know what I wanna do right now. If it's a welt pocket like the pattern says or not, I haven't decided, but I'll come back and we'll finish this up together. So I have my lining almost done. Obviously, you can probably tell. I've got I skipped the pockets. I just wasn't in the mood to put pockets in, so I said I'm not going to. So I did my recessed zipper and I sewed that in, and I have never top stitched this seam, and I get asked a lot, like, do we need to top stitch? Like, what's the deal with this? And I always say no, because I don't normally. But something in me just said, let's see what happens. So I pushed my seam down. So it's pretty bulky. I wouldn't suggest this on a domestic, especially with cork here, because it's pretty thick. But I'm just trying to decide, is that right? Would I want the seam up? Like, is that gonna lay right when the bag is done? I have no idea. I may have made a bad decision. I don't know. But I'm just trying to look, and it feels like it's gonna be okay. So, I don't know. We're gonna see what happens when it's all done, because I already did it. I'm gonna leave it. And when the bag is finished, we'll find out together if we should ever do this again or if I should have pushed it the other way. I was thinking about doing one up and one down, but I feel like that's just going to make it awkward. Like, it's going to make it look weird. So I'm going with down. I'm going to push my seam down and top stitch the other one, and we'll see what happens. So I'm a little anxious about this. Wow. Well, things are changing. My first go around was actually straight, and I don't feel like I need to do it again. So are things improving for this evening? I don't know. Oh, here we go. Well, even though it doesn't have pockets, I still like it. What I'm curious about is the random top stitching that I did. Will it be an issue? I don't know. I don't know yet, but we are gonna find out really soon. All right, so poke my corners. I need my turning tool. I love this thing. Like, if I'm making a flap or anything that needs to like be really like poked out in the corners, this is my tool. I don't want anything else except that one. I've tried others and I love it. But this over here, I have not tried it on these sides. I usually just do it with my fingers. And I thought to myself, why? Why not use your turning tool? So those edges look nice. All right, let's close this up, change my foot one more time because I'm almost done. When I came downstairs, the sun was out, and it is now pitch black outside. And it's only 7 o'clock. This is why I find the winter so depressing. I just want longer days and more sunshine. Even if I'm not outside, just looking out the window and seeing the sun shining, just, I don't know, it changes my mood. It changes my attitude. It changes everything. It makes me feel more productive. Darkness makes me want to go to bed. And I don't really think that I should go to bed at 7 o'clock. I can, but I also have 2 dogs that would not accept that. They would be like, excuse me, why are you thinking that you're gonna go to bed right now? Okay. I mean, so far I'm liking the bag. Really anxious to see about this top stitching. My random, I threw in some extra top stitching for no reason top stitching. Well, it's not doing anything weird, so I think it's okay. I don't know if it's really benefiting the bag, but it's not doing anything negative. So it didn't change much, I don't think, for the finishing steps. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna clip this whole thing before I top stitch, but before I do, okay, the zipper really seems to be like sitting in the bag. Do I like that? So it definitely makes the zipper sit down, like it pushes the zipper down. I don't know if my top stitching up here will change it. I mean, I'm sure it will be different if there was stuff in the bag. I don't know if I would necessarily do that again, Maybe I should, and I should push the seam up to see if that makes a difference. It's just one of those things that like I have never thought about doing, but I get asked every time I have somebody making a bag in like a class, or, you know, if we're doing like a Zoom or something, and they're like, do I top stitch this? And I always think to myself, no, I don't know. I don't top stitch. I don't think that you need to. So I wanted to try it out. Maybe I should do one more bag, not tonight for sure, because I'm tired and I'm hungry. But maybe I should make one more bag with a recessed zipper and do the research, top stitch with my seam up, and see, is it better? Does it make a difference? Is it worth it? Because I really can't answer that question right now, considering I've only ever done this once. So I don't know. Do you top stitch when you add a recessed zipper? If you do, what direction do you push all of your seams in? And do you really like it? Do you feel like your bag is better because of it? Those are my questions for you. I have questions for you. Okay, stitch length up to 6, ready to go. I'm gonna finish this up and then we'll throw the handle on and take a final look. So far, I think it's gorgeous. Very excited. So I will be right back. Let's fast forward. Oh my God, that is so pretty. That's a pretty bag. All right, I gotta put the handle on. This is, ow. My foot fell asleep. Yeah, that is, oh, it's everything I wanted and more. It's so pretty. Oh, I can't wait to take some pictures. Wow, that was super fun. No issues, really nothing major to really talk about here. I would say the changes that I made were super minor and nothing to really get excited about. I just changed up how I did the handle. I did the 2 tabs as the pattern says. I just did a removable handle instead of adding it into here, just because I was doing, like I said, the webbing. The webbing is 1.5 inches and the hardware is 1 inch. I love the curve of this bag. I don't know what drew me to this, but the first version of this bag that I made, like the first probably 2, I had straight across and it looked really good. But every time I looked at it, I was like, something's missing and I don't know what it is. And once I started playing around and I did just a very gentle curve, it's so like, look at how subtle this is. This is my Christy template. It's just a little curve, but it just makes such a major difference. I don't know, it changes everything about the bag. So I do love that. So when I look down in here, my top stitching looks fantastic. Best it's looked in a long time. So even though there were enough problems with the rest of the bag, top stitching this edge, I don't think is making any big difference, positive or negative. Like, I don't feel like top stitching that it's not adding to the bag, but it's not taking away from it either. So I don't know. I think I need to play around a little bit more, but in the meantime, I'm probably just not going to top stitch there because most of my bags, let me grab the other bag. Most of my bags, like this one, don't have top stitching. Let's look at them side by side. That's probably smart. So top stitched, not top stitched. I feel like it's really not making any difference whatsoever. So yeah, I'm not sold on doing the extra top stitching. So now at least when someone asks me that question, I can tell them I've tried it and it doesn't make a difference, which is what I thought. So maybe I'll play around with it a little bit more, but in the meantime, I think that's going to be it. I'm excited because I have a new sample to take to Washington. I will also have another sample tomorrow after I do the first Arya Zoom class of 2025. I think we have, 1 or 2 more scheduled. I can't remember. I know there's at least 1 more. I think there might be a 3rd. I can't remember. I have so many things on my calendar. So I will have this brand new sample. I will have tomorrow's sample. And then I will also have this sample for the words. I will have the next Arya class sample. I need to go to bed, or at least go sit down and stop talking. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. I had a great time just kind of chatting and making this bag. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like videos like this, don't forget to click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give it a thumbs up. Till our next bag. See ya.